This is Dr. Carroll, and this video is about JavaDocs. JavaDoc is a tool to automatically produce HTML documentation from comments, and it's bundled with Java. So if you have Java, you have JavaDoc. So let's talk about the syntax here. So in review, what's the syntax for a multi-line comment? Well, so it starts with a slash and then a star, and then it ends with a star and then a slash. So a JavaDoc comment starts with a slash star and ends with a star slash. So it's a multi-line comment with an extra star or asterisk at the beginning. That's the general syntax. So let's look at the syntax for variables. So syntax for variables, we start with a slash star star and end with a star slash, and we start it with a one-line description, and it's very common to have a star in front of it. This star here in front of the one-line description has no relevance except it looks good and that's what everybody else does. Okay, so that's part one, is the one-line description. And then we can optionally add more detailed description, and we separate it by paragraphs. And remember, this is going to be an HTML documentation, so we add in the paragraph open tag and paragraph closing tag to differentiate it from that initial line. And there we go, that's the syntax for variables. So you can have just the one-line description, or you can provide a lot more detail if necessary. Let's talk about the syntax for classes and methods. Again, starting with the basic JavaDoc comment starting beginning. And we have a one-line description again and an optional detailed description separated into paragraphs. But now additionally we have tags here. You might be asking, well, what's a tag? Well, here are some common block tags. You could have author, version, param, return, or C. Let's go through each of these. So the author, it allows us to specify who is or are the authors of the class. And so that's only relevant at the class level, so the JavaDoc before a class. And an example would be at author and then a name, like mine. If I wrote it, don't put my name if I didn't write it, okay? Thank you, but no thanks. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is version. And so this is only for classes. You only have a version. You're talking about the whole file. And so you're saying what version is it. And so you'd start with something like version 0.1 to say what version is it. And then when you say, okay, I'm ready to change the version, then it'll increase it. And you can already start thinking there's tools which will keep track of versions and things like that for you. Okay, let's talk about parameter block tag here. So for parameter, it's only for methods because we don't have parameters at the class level. And what we do is we document the role of each parameter. So because we're producing documentation here, and so if someone wants to call a method you wrote, they're going to say, hey, what's this method and what do each of these parameters mean so I know that I'm using it correctly. And so an example may be if we have a parameter height, we could simply say it's the height in inches. So that makes it really clear. Oh, okay, that's what it is. And it's a little awkward that you have the parameter name and then the description, but sometimes you repeat it, and that's that. So return. So what does and again, this is only for methods because classes don't return things. And so, well, what does the method return? And so an example could be like, hey, this returns true if and only if, that's a common abbreviation, if this piece can make the move. And so, and we'll see an example where I'm actually going to use this, but in context it makes a little more sense. The last one is C. And so this is for classes and methods, and so it allows us to reference other classes, websites, and things along those lines. So let's see some examples. First, let's see a chess. So here we have a super simple chess piece class. It's not really complete. It's very much focused as an example for JavaDocs. So you can see this JavaDoc before the class, and we don't put any separating space here. It just goes right next to it. And here's our one-line description. Then we have separated by paragraph, and then we could put a longer description here. Don't really put longer description goes here. If you're going to have one, put it there. And then just before the class, just before the method, we could have a one-line description, and then we're going to detail each of the parameters. So row is the row of the potential move. This is a chess piece. So we're talking, the method here is it a valid move? And so row is where we're trying to move to, and the column of where we're trying to move to. And then here we have, what does it return? It's true if and only if this piece can make the move. And so then it's inferred, it's false otherwise. And so here we have this simple example. Now let's go to see here. So I've put it in its own directory so that you can just see what goes on. So we call JavaDoc right here, and then we give it the Java file, and it goes through and it does all its thing. Now look how many files it created. Woohoo! Thank you. Okay, just from this super simple example. And so let's look at what it produced. This is what one of those files looks like. Hey, this looks familiar. This looks like the Java API code. There's a reason for that. Look at all it did from that simple file. And so it knows its hierarchy. It specifies, hey, this is class chess piece. It extends Java Lang object. And here's the description. A longer description goes here. Notice it has a constructor. There's no description because we didn't have a constructor. There's a default constructor, and so it's just documenting that as really a placeholder because it has to have one. There's only one method specified in this class, and so it's here. And so we can click on that and say, hey, this is the method name. Here's the header. Here's the one-line description. Here's each of the parameters. And then here's what it returns. And this is all done for us to show the documentation. I want to just take a quick look at, say, I don't know, a patient class here. And so this would be an example of a patient class. You're going to have a constructor that takes multiple things. You could have a get height, get name, get weight, main, toString, and then have all these right here specifying it. There's the video. I hope you enjoyed it.